Hello everyone, welcome to the daily news analysis of nextias. This is Varun. Today we will discuss 5 important articles from two newspapers, The Hindu and Indian Express. The first article is of our decoded mains section, that is India-Bangladesh relation, which has come into The Hindu newspaper. After that we will discuss 4 articles from our explained section for prelims. The first article is regarding DDoS attack and Kaveri 2.0, which has come into The Hindu newspaper. Then we will further discuss about constitutional morality, which again has come into the Hindu newspaper. Then we will discuss about earthquake in Delhi, and at last we will discuss about export contracts, that is 2.38% export has been contracted. So let us start with our first article. Now we will discuss our first articles for the mains decoded section. The article has come in the backdrop of Bangladesh Foreign Affairs Advisor Tawhid Hossain emphasized the need for stable, regime-independent India-Bangladesh relation. This is relevant for our GS2 paper in international relations. The article heading, which has come into the Hindu newspaper, India-Bangladesh ties should not be regime-specific. So now let us, through a PYQs, understand which type of question can be asked in the UPSC examination regarding this topic. So the first question which has come in mains 2013, the protests in Sabag Square in Dhaka in Bangladesh reveal a fundamental split in society between the nationalists and Islamic forces. What is its significance for India? Now another question which has come in mains 2020 in GS2 paper, analyze internal security threats and trans-border crimes along Myanmar, Bangladesh and Pakistan borders including LOC. Also discuss the role played by various security forces in this regard. Now, let us understand what we will cover in this. So, there will be coverage of what is news, historical timeline, and then we will also try to understand importance of relationship between India and Bangladesh, and then we will also try to understand some challenges regarding these two countries, and then finally way forward. So let us try to understand what news is. So the Hossain has emphasized that India-Bangladesh relations should be based on mutual interest, not the ruling regime. So mutual interest, like in Panchshil agreement also, or Panchshil principle always say mutual interest should be the core basis or principle for any two countries. He also noted improvement in ties after 6 months. So, due to various disruptions which has been going into Bangladesh regarding regime change, regarding protests, has led to strain in the ties of India and Bangladesh. But the advisor has said after 6 months the ties has started improving due to better trade and private sector interaction. These two areas have shown improvement, and that's why overall relation is moving towards improvement. Now, through historical timeline, let us understand India-Bangladesh relation evolution. So, in 1947, partition of British India happened. When India got independence, partition happened, formation of India, West Pakistan and East Pakistan happened at that period of time. In 1971, Bangladesh Liberation War happened, and the war was due to language issue and other things, in which India supported formation of Bangladesh also. Then in 1972, Indo-Bangladesh Peace Treaty happened, and this peace treaty is also known as Indira-Mujib Treaty. Then in 1975, a very significant and important event happened in Bangladesh, assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was the key leader and who played a vital role in formation of and liberation of Bangladesh. He was assassinated, which created instability in Bangladesh itself. In 1980s and 1990s, political instability in Bangladesh was still there post killing of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Then in 1996, over a period of time, India-Bangladesh was trying to improve their relation, but the watershed moment which came in 1996, and there was sign of improvement in diplomatic relation between two countries. In 2000, there was enhanced cooperation due to emergence of various areas like trade, through energy cooperation. There were improvement of relation, and beside it, India and Bangladesh always has people to people contact. Then in 2011, very important thing happened. Land boundary agreement was concluded between India and Bangladesh. This is very significant and important because this was based on the principle of give and take away. Here, consensus not only regarding legal things were there, but also political consensus needed in both countries because there was land swap between two countries required. That's why it was a very important step in the relationship of India and Bangladesh. Then in 2015, cooperation was further enhanced to regional security and trade. In 2021, Bangladesh's 15th independence anniversary was celebrated also in India because India played a vital role also in Bangladesh liberation war. Then 2023, India was guest in G20 summit. India at that point of time was the key player who organized G20 and invited Bangladesh as a guest. Now let us discuss areas of cooperation in India-Bangladesh relation. So first area is economic relation. Now India's largest trade partner in South Asia is Bangladesh, and the volume of trade by value is over $12 billion. That is a significant amount. Both countries are also engaged in various joint military exercises like Sampriti, Bono Sagar. So this also brings the navies and armies of two countries nearer and together. Then there is also energy cooperation. For example, Maitri thermal power plant is there, which is being installed with cooperation between India and Bangladesh. Then cooperation agreements regarding connectivity is also there, like Bangladesh Bhutan India Nepal initiative, BBIN initiative. Also there are various other connectivity or transport initiative like Maitri Express, Bandhan Express, Mitali Express was there, but due to last 6 months disruption, some of these initiatives have been stopped. Beside it, they also cooperate at various international fora, like they both are member of SAARC and BIMSTEC. Also sometimes they cooperate at forums like UN. Also we have seen that at G20, India has called or invited Bangladesh as guest country when India hosted G20 meeting in 2023. But there are some challenges also in India-Bangladesh relations. So let us understand through various dimensions in which challenges are persisting. First is geopolitical. So in geopolitical, basically disagreement over border demarcation. So border demarcation between India and Bangladesh is still a thorn in relationship. There is also issue of illegal immigration, particularly the states, border states which are sharing boundary with Bangladesh. They are very much concerned about illegal immigration coming and change in demography which will happen due to this illegal immigration. Then there is also issue of economic imbalance like non-tariff barriers. Sometimes non-tariff barriers are being used as a measure to discourage import or export from other countries. Beside it, sometimes also there is issue of river water sharing, which we will further discuss in next slide. Then there is issue of connectivity in the form of like land and maritime boundaries. For example, there is a dispute regarding Komila Tirupura border. There is a 6.5 kilometer long region on which the issue is very significant from the perspective of it is being claimed by both countries. Then also issue of infrastructure deficiency like hinder economic cooperation and development. Then there are also challenges in ties regarding security aspect related to terrorism. Bangladesh does not harbor terrorists, but there are some small terrorist groups which are being present in the region and are a threat to India. Insurgency related like ULFA, NDF of Bodoland, then National Liberation Front of Tripura also has been reported that they operate some of the camps in Bangladesh. Then there is a China's influence, which is also China is always elephant in the room when it comes to India and its neighbors. China many neighbors start to play China card. But in case of India, Bangladesh, it is not China card, but China itself is acting as an elephant. Due to increased investment in Bangladesh under the BRI and Chittagong port, BRI project has been seen by India as a threat, because India always say it is not sustainable. It is only a form of checkbook diplomacy. There are some other areas which we have already said, that water dispute, like water sharing, particularly to Ganges and Brahmaputra river. So a lot of tributaries of Brahmaputra and Ganges river flow in the region, and there is always issue of water sharing between riparian states. Like Tista river dispute. In 2011, there was a agreement which said that 42% of rivers water will go to India and 37.5 to Bangladesh. This was proposed at that time, and leaving 20% unrestricted so that flow in the channel will be maintained. But there is this agreement, still it is not being implemented, or it is not being agreed by two countries. From time to time there are talks that this will be taken up, this will be implemented by both countries. Then Farka barrage dispute is also there, in which Bangladesh from the time to time say or raise concern that India divert Ganges water to Hooghly river. So this is particularly regarding to water dispute. Now, as India and Bangladesh are two very important neighbors in South Asia, so what should be way forward to manage their challenges? Challenges is always there between two friends, two neighboring countries, but as our ex-Prime Minister Atal Bihari has said that we cannot change our neighbors, we can change only friends. So how to manage? So first thing is, to counter China, India should need or play a strong India-Bangladesh relationship in countering China. We need to inculcate people-to-people ties. We need to show our historical relationship with the Bangladesh, the people, the Bangla language. These things will bring two countries back together again and also resolve various disputes. Then enhance regional connectivity. Already we have seen some initiatives like BBIN is already there, but we need to move beyond. Like we need to conclude some agreement through which trains can pass, and also we need to have cooperation regarding the passage in Arabian Sea and other regions. Like we can focus in connectivity basically on coastal, road, rail and inland waterways. Then focus should also be regional stability, so that both nations can collaborate on regional and international platforms like SAARC, BIMSTEC, where they can focus that South Asia as a region should be stable, and when the region will be stable, trade will be more promoted, investment will be there, people to people connectivity will be there will be sharing of knowledge. So these will bring two countries together and work for sustainable development humanity. Besides it, reviving the balanced bilateral trade, it should be balanced, it should not be distorted in any country's favor, otherwise there will always be apprehension from other side that someone is getting more benefit. In this manner we can manage our relations. Now there is a practice question which we can discuss. India Bangladesh relations should not be regime specific but should be based on mutual interest and respect. Discuss the implication of this statement in the context of current India Bangladesh ties. So for intro, we can write about that Bangladesh has been going through some challenges, internal conflicts since last 6 months, which is also putting a strain on India's relationship with Bangladesh. Then in body part, we can show that how these regime change or these conflict is causing strain, that is challenges, and what will be the implication of this due to this challenge, what is the implication on the relation. We can show various dimensions like economic trade is being hampered, people to people movement, illegal immigration, minority persecution. These issues we can discuss one by one, and then a way forward we can provide, because it is a 15 marker question, and then we can conclude that India Bangladesh are two core pillars of South Asian friendship, South Asian regional stability, which is in the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this is our humble request to all of you, kindly write this answer and post in our comment section. Your peers will review. Now, there has been another article in our newspaper. The article is Places of Worship Act regarding. The headline of the article is Places of Worship Case Put Off, Center Yet to File a Response. We have covered in a very comprehensive manner this article on our 11 Jan 2025 episode. This is our humble request. Watch it and understand the nuances of the concept. Now, the article is about constitutional morality. In the backdrop, the article has come. Constitutional morality is in the news for its role in landmark court judgment and rights debate. So this article has come into the Hindu newspaper, and the article's headline is Constitutional Morality, the Origins and Nuances of the Concept. Now let us understand its relevance. Its relevance is an Indian polity paper. It can be asked directly in prelims, what is meaning of constitutional morality. It has also been asked in our mains examination in 2021. So what is constitutional morality? Let us understand. It is a civic culture of respect for constitutional forms and offices, emphasizing public reason, self-restraint and critique. So three important things are there for constitutional morality. First is public reason, second is self-restraint, and third is critique. So if these three factors are there, then it is called constitutional morality. It requires citizens to uphold the sanctity of constitutional rules. So citizens has to adhere to the constitutional rules which has been prescribed by the constitution of that particular country. We are right now talking in general terms. Not explicitly used in the Indian constitution. The constitutional morality term or the constitutional morality is not itself used in the Indian constitution, but rather it has been implicitly defined by Supreme Court judgments and through various philosophies. Concept of morality appears in a few articles of Indian constitution, especially like Article 19.2, Article 19.4, Article 25.1 and Article 26. This fact about constitutional morality or this information about constitutional morality has been provided itself in this article. Now let us understand about various sources of constitutional morality, that how constitutional morality comes. First is constitution itself. Any constitution of any country provides some basic moral values. Then debates and discussion that took place during the constitutional assembly. So for framing of constitution, a lot of debate has happened, all of us know. From there itself also various values has been reflected, especially regarding our constitution, and that comes into the form of constitutional morality. Then events and historical context surrounding the framing of the constitution. And last, case laws and precedents. Various case laws has been interpreted by Supreme Court in respect to various judgments, from where also we derive constitutional morality. Then what is the contemporary relevance of this constitutional morality? Why constitutional morality is important right now? So it is used by constitutional courts to interpret and assess the constitutional validity of statutes, as legislature from time to time passes law and judiciary interpret those laws, but the basis has been right now used as a constitutional morality, whether constitutional morality is upheld or not. It is often seen as safeguard. It is acting as a safeguard against what? Volatile public morality. So public morality can be mob morality also. That's why we need some check and balance, and constitutional morality act as a safeguard for this, and as a dangerous weapon by critics also. Sometimes critics utilize or misutilize this constitutional morality also. It has been applied in various landmark judgments like Nautej Singh Johar case, Joseph Sain case. These cases were regarding to third gender, which has been interpreted by Supreme Court on the basis of constitutional morality. It is also focusing on various other aspects like minority rights, then religious access like in our Sabrimala judgment, then free speech like our Puttaswamy judgment, and also national security. On these parameters and aspects, constitutional morality is being used to interpret various laws or to check whether the statute is within the limit of constitution or not. Then let us understand from the article itself the historical origin of constitutional morality. So the article says George Grote coined the term while analyzing Athenian democracy in the history of Greece. He has written a book, A History of Greece, where George Grote analyzed Athenian democracy. And the person has emphasized need for civic culture and public confidence in the constitution's sacredness even during political conflicts. So constitutions should be act as a sacred document, holy document, even there is a public conflict itself. Then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has also interpreted about constitutional morality. The article says about this. He introduced the concept in his speech, the draft constitution, on November 4, 1948. On that day, he used constitutional morality to explain some of the various provisions which has been included in the draft itself. He said that in India, constitutional morality is not a natural sentiment. Rather, it need to be cultivated for a free and peaceful democracy. Then, let us understand about some of contemporary importance and application. Like, it provides framework for balanced commitment. How it provides balance? Maintaining constitutional commitment without fundamentalism. So it focuses that fundamentalism should not come into the path of constitutional commitment. Then it makes our constitutionalism more mature. How? It promotes mature by balancing reverence with reform and stability with change. It also, as we always say, Indian constitution is a living tree. So it helps us to reform and also provide stability with change. Not a sudden change, but gradual change. It also provides vision of the founding fathers, like reinforces their vision in seeing constitutional allegiance to the constitutional form. Now, through a practice question, let us try to understand what type of question can be asked in our prelims examination itself. So, adherence to the letter of the constitution without questioning its provision, that is saying a civic culture of respect for constitutional forms, self-restraint, public reason and critic, blind loyalty to the constitution as a document of supreme authority, the belief in upholding individual rights above constitutional procedure. Now, which of the following best defines the concept of constitutional morality? Here, most important thing is best. So, this is our humble request. Kindly mark the correct answer and your viewer will review in the comment section. We have another article about CEC appointment, and this article is in both the Hindu and Indian Express. The article says Gyanesh Kumar named CEC after panel meeting. We have covered about appointment of Election Commission and Chief Election Commissioner on 2 days. One is 11th Jan 2025 and another is 15th of Feb 2025. So you can watch this and understand the nuances. Now we will discuss another article which has come into our newspaper, DDoS attack and Kaveri 2.0. The backdrop of this article is Kaveri 2.0 portal in Karnataka was disrupted by a DDoS cyber attack affecting property registration services. Now, what is the headline of this article? How did a DDoS attack cripple Kaveri 2.0? This article has come into the Hindu newspaper. What is its relevance? So, this topic can be asked in science and tech section of prelims examination itself in the manner what is DDoS attack, what is its feature, or what is Kaveri 2.0 portal. Like in 2019, there was a question in mains examination regarding Cyberdome. Cyberdome is basically project of our state Kerala, but this state initiative was also asked even in mains examination itself. So that's why Kaveri 2.0 can be asked. Now let us understand what is the news. So Kaveri 2.0 portal is for property registration being launched by Karnataka, and it faced outages in December 2024 and January 2025, disrupting services. The investigation revealed the outages were due to motivated DDoS attack, not technical glitches. Earlier, the authorities thought it was technical glitches, but when there was in-depth analysis, they found it was basically a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. Property registration services were severely disrupted, leading to delays in document related services. So it created a lot of problem because the service which was to be thought that it will be provided by Kaveri platform, it was disrupted. Now let us understand what is a DDoS attack, that is distributed denial of service. So it is basically a malicious attempt. Malicious means it is not in a good faith, it is in a bad faith to disrupt the normal functioning of a server or network. Both server also can be disrupted or network by overwhelming it with excessive internet traffic. You can simply understand that there is a road and the road has a capacity of particular amount of vehicles which can pass through it. But what happens, suddenly a group plans and they suddenly release, for example, the capacity is only for 100 vehicles and they suddenly release 200 vehicles. What will happen? The road will be choked, there will be a traffic jam, complete disruption of service will be there, complete disruption of traffic will be there. Same thing happens in distributed denial of service. The primary goal is to cause service downtime, rendering the service unavailable. The main goal of this DDoS is to make that the service which is being provided, it should be stopped. It can also be used as a distraction for other cyber attacks such as data breaches. So, for example, if a cyber thief is trying to do some cyber attack or some other type of attack, they can distract through DDoS. The complete focus of the institution or organization will be on handling this DDoS, and they will, in lieu of that, they can do data breaches. Some notable DDoS which has been mentioned in the article itself, like X platform was being faced through DDoS attack. Elon Musk said that it was hit by a massive DDoS attack. It happened in August 2024. Then GitHub was also faced this problem in 2015 due to a China-based botnet targeting tools. There are some mitigation strategies also developed over the period of time for DDoS attacks. This mitigation strategy itself can be asked in the prelims examination, like which of the following are mitigation strategy for DDoS, or it also be the name can be given and whether this will help to prevent DDoS attack or not. First is traffic filtering. It means implement advanced filtering mechanism to distinguish between legitimate and malicious traffic. So what we can do, we can create a channel or we can create a mechanism which will filter whether the traffic which is coming, whether it is legitimate or illegitimate. Then there is rate limiting, that is number of requests a user can make within a specific time to prevent system overload. For example, you cannot request such only 4 or 5. For example, WhatsApp forwarding is only limited to 5. That is also a type of rate limiting. Bot detection, use CAPTCHA challenges. Whenever we are trying to enter into some particular form or something, there is a CAPTCHA we need to filter. So it also led to whether the thing is legitimate or not. And behavioral analysis to identify and block bots. Many times cyber thefts use bots. They create bots and the bots start automatically filling the forms, or they are automatically requesting a lot of things on the site or portal itself. So this CAPTCHA helps us to control those bot related activities. Then robust authentication is also there. Implement strong security measures including multi-factor authentication. Mostly in DDoS what happens, it is not a single factor led problem, it is mostly a multi-factor. So what we can do, if we diversify our authentication to multi-factor, it will also help to reduce it. The conclusion of the article is कि Kaveri portal was restored on Feb 2025 and attack highlighted the importance of prioritizing cyber security for critical online services. So it was a wake up call that such type of DDoS or distributed denial of service can happen to some critical infrastructure or critical services like health, education. So that should be prevented. Now let us see a practice question. Consider the following statement regarding distributed denial of service attack. DDoS attack use multiple compromised system to flood a targeted server with traffic, overwhelming its resources. Unlike a DOS attack, DDoS attack typically originates from a single source. DDoS attacks are aimed at causing service downtime but do not directly result in data theft. So this is our humble request to all of you. Kindly mark your correct answer in our comment section. Your peers will review. Now we will discuss another article which has come in our Indian Express newspaper and also the Hindu newspaper. The article is regarding earthquake in Delhi. The backdrop of this article is a magnitude 4.0 earthquake occurred in Delhi at the dawn of Monday, originated within the Aravalli Delhi fault belt. So what happened on Monday when Delhi's wake up? There was a earthquake in the morning, and the intensity and the magnitude, not intensity, magnitude of the earthquake was 4.0. What is the relevance of this topic? This topic can be asked in Indian geography section in prelims examination itself, and also earthquake in general in mains examination. The article heading is Dawn Quake in Delhi. Now let us understand about earthquake. What is earthquake? Earthquake in simple words is shaking of the earth caused due to release of energy. So whenever there is release of energy, there is shaking of the earth crust itself, and that is called as earthquake in a simple terms, which generates waves that travel in all directions. The release of built up energy occurs along a fault, a break in earth crust where rocks move in opposite direction. So what happens? There is a fault existing, and on the fault there will be release of energy and rocks will move, and that's why tremor will be felt. The point of energy release is called focus or hypocenter. Through a diagram, we can understand this in a much better way and in a simpler way. Like this is our fault as highlighted in the diagram. This is our 2 points, okay, and this is the wave which has been moving on. So this below point is known as focus or hypocenter. What we called as this is called as point of energy release. Point of energy release, it is below the surface, and the point which is at the top surface, it is called as epicenter. In the diagram also we can see this epicenter. It directly lies above the surface. All natural earthquake takes place in lithosphere. This itself a fact for prelims examination. Then let us, through India's map, understand various zoning has been done in which region lies in which zone. So there is, it starts with zone 2. There is no zone 1 in our current classification. Then zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. Zone 1 is low damage risk zone, zone 2 is moderate damage risk zone, zone 4 high damage risk zone, and then zone 5 very high damage risk zone. So from here we can see that in the diagram itself, some various specific cities and various states lie in zone 5, like Gujarat is there, Bihar, Gujarat, the Bhuj earthquake, everyone remembers, Gujarat itself lies in the zone 5. Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, those regions which are in Himalayan belt are mostly in zone 5 region. Beside it, we can also see that Barauni region of Bihar is in zone 4, and Delhi itself comes into the zone 4 region. In this we can see Delhi is here. So that's why Delhi is prone also to high damage risk zone. Now let us understand about a key term which has come into the editorial, Aravalli Delhi fault belt. So it is a seismically active. The examiner can set up the answer or question by framing or changing this word active. Seismically active geological belt extending from southern and eastern Rajasthan to Haryana and Delhi. This is the location in which this Aravalli Delhi fault belt is there. This region is basically featuring geographical feature of this region is deformed rock layers folded by ancient geological process, creating stress that can trigger earthquakes. Then this mechanism is different from the tectonic activity in the Himalayan region. This is not part of Himalaya, but it is a different. Why seismic activity in Delhi happen, or how Delhi is seismically active? Occasional tremors are there, and it lies in zone 4 as we have seen in the map. Now seismic, let us also cover in general India for seismic mapping. A total of 59% of landmass of India is prone to earthquake of different intensity. This data is basically of US Geological Survey. So from there, they have surveyed India through satellites and found that 59% of landmass is prone to earthquakes. India is divided into zones based on seismic risk, zone 2 to zone 5. Zone 5 already we have seen in the map is most active, and zone 2 is less. 11% of the countries lie into zone 5 itself, and 18% in zone 4, 30% in zone 3, remaining in zone 2. So around we can say that 29% is in some form of higher risk. The classification is based on Medvedev-Sponhar-Kranick scale. This scale is being used. In further studies, we will able to see and distinguish various type of scales. So magnitude scale is being used for Richter scale. So what magnitude measures? Force of an earthquake based on seismic waves and uses a logarithmic scale. That's what is being measured by Richter scale. There is also intensity scale like Mercalli scale and our MSK scale, what we call as Medvedev-Sponhar-Kranick scale. It measures physical impact of an earthquake based on observable damage, and it uses a linear scale, whereas here in magnitude scale it is logarithmic scale. And this intensity scale is also subjective data, based on subjective data. Let us have a practice question to understand which type of question can be asked. Even this question has earlier asked in our prelims examination. In a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier than S wave. In P waves, the individual particles vibrate to and fro in the direction of wave propagation, whereas in S waves, the particles vibrate up and down at the right angles to the direction of wave propagation. Which of the statement given above or are is correct? So mark your correct answer and your peers will review in our comment section. Now there is another article regarding export contract which has happened to 2.38%. The backdrop of this article is in January, trade deficit has been widened to $23 billion and export dipped by 2.38% year on year for monthly basis. What is the relevance of this topic? It can be asked in Indian economy section in the form of trend itself. The heading of the article is export contracts 2.38% in January. This article has been covered in both the Hindu and Indian Express newspaper. Now let us understand some key takeaways from the article itself. So article says trade deficit has widened to $22.99 billion in January 2025 from $6.56 billion in January 2024. Then it also says export has declined to 2.38% by 2.38% year on year to $36.43 billion, and this is third consecutive month of decline. Okay, so this is a trend which can itself, if it persists over the long period of time, even in prelims examination, this can be asked that there is consecutive decline for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or 7 till when the examiner frame the questions. Imports rather has increased by 10.28% to $59.42 billion, and most of the items which has led to increase in imports are electronic goods, gold, non-ferrous metals, iron and steel, and chemicals. Petroleum export has also fell more than half, and that is the primary reason for overall export decline, because India exports a lot of processed petroleum products. Even in this our chart, we can see this chart is from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry site, and they release monthly data. From there this chart has been taken. So in 2023 to 24 we can see that export is 636.69 billion and import is $706.75 billion, whereas in 2024 to 25 it is 682.59 and import is $770 billion. Now some other key takeaways from this article is non-petroleum export has also rose by 14.15%. Beside it, key export growth sector. So if non-petroleum export sector is also growing, that's a good indicator for India. It means that India's manufacturing industry is becoming competitive also. It is not relying only on petroleum processed export. Some of the key export sectors like electronic goods, pharmaceuticals, rice, and revival in gems and jewelry. Then Commerce Secretary has given his view. Despite global conflict and tariff war, India has performed well in goods and services exports. Some service related trade data has also come. It estimated services export. It is estimated, it is not actual, because RBI provides some data which is 1 or 2 months lagging. Services export is around $US 38.55 billion as compared to $31 billion in January 2024. It means services export is increasing. Merchandise export is decreasing. Estimated value of service import for January 2020 $18.22 billion compared to $14.84 billion in January 2024. So import of services has also increased over the period of time. Now let us see a practice question on this topic also. With reference to international trade of India at present, which of the following statements is or are correct? India's merchandise export are less than its merchandise imports. India's imports of iron and steel, chemical, fertilizers, and machinery have decreased in recent years. India's export of services are more than its import of services. India suffers from an overall trade or current account deficit. Select the correct answer using the code given below. So this is our humble request. Kindly mark your correct answer in our comment section. Beside it, this is our request to our viewers. If you like our video, kindly like it, subscribe it, share it, and comment on it. Thank you.